Welcome back. This is The Experts Say, and we have in studio a personal financial planner, Ogwala Yaya, who is talking to us about medical insurance. And there's a whole lot to learn about medical insurance. So Sheila, before we took the break,
yes,
we're talking about, you know, some of the advantages and some of the shortcuts that one would try to cut, which from what you said are not really wise to do. You know?
It's not wise. I think I think everybody who is working, I think the employer, it's an incentive for your employees to give them a medical insurance. You don't have to give them the top of the range, but give them a good medical insurance so that if they are not well, it's very hard for them to be productive. If their family member is not well, it's very hard for them to be productive. And there's nothing you gain by getting an employee who is unwell, unhappy, and then in debt.
In debt.
Because, you know, if you're going to have to borrow money to go and see a doctor, they borrow from you from the bank or from whoever, it's not good. It loses on your productivity. And remember, you're in the business usually to make money or to provide a good service. When choosing a medical insurance, somebody had asked, how do you know a good one?
Yes, there's so many.
There's so many. Yeah. Just like there are very many cars.
Yes, how do you know which is it?
One, you can go with the tried and tested, like the Mercedes. So, of course, you know, the top of the range.
Yes,
Mercedes, the top
which
of
is
the
name.
The name. You can go with one where people have used. I won't say the names because it will be unsolicited advertising. But those have been tried and tested that you know are good at providing services. Then you look at the price range. But people must realize that when you take a medical insurance, if you sign up today, tomorrow you cannot have an operation.
Yes.
Unless, God forbid, between now and then you're in a car accident and you need an operation. That one they will take care of. But if it's something that you knew you're supposed to have an operation of your appendix, you can't. There's a waiting period. There's about, I think, between 60 and 90 days.
So that's about 3 months.
Yes.
So how do they ascertain that, you know, that a certain operation, a certain procedure, a certain test was not pre-existing? I think that's a term that they use.
Yes.
They don't take care of pre-existing conditions.
They will
see.
There's
a whole lot
medical reports.
Of debate.
Medical reports will show. For something to degenerate to the point where it has to be operated, it doesn't happen immediately. Very rarely. It will happen gradually. That's the way the body works. Things happen gradually. Then when it deteriorates to the point of having an operation. Likewise, if you take a medical insurance, they do cover delivery of when you're going to give maternity. Again, I can't take today and give birth tomorrow or next month or 2 months from now. There's usually a waiting period, which is usually 10 months. Otherwise, I would get pregnant and take a medical insurance. But then what will happen is
then they end up losing money.
They lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. You mentioned medical covers with employers and with corporates, and it is a very common thing that you find with employers. You know, taking it upon themselves to pay for medical premiums for insurance for the employees, and sometimes even the employees' dependents. What's in it for them? Because you find
you have a happy worker. Long time ago, people would work in a place for 10, 20, 30 years. It's because of things like that, where you're taken care of. If you take care of me, then I'll be able to work for you, and I'll work for you well.
And you'll be loyal.
I'll be loyal. And my family is taken care of. I don't have to look for a side hustle. I don't have to think how I can steal from you. You're taking care of me because you care about me. And it's important that we have that in place because it takes a big load. And I'll tell you, 10% of being happy is not from money, it's from other things.
Financial.
It's not financial, from other things. Yeah.
And so you feel that from your expertise and your field, does it really make that big a difference? An employee who has medical cover catered for by an employer, and one who doesn't. Does it make that big of a difference in their productivity?
It does. And you'll find that the companies that do that, they are able to retain their staff for longer periods of time, and they're able to progress and grow. Exactly. And I think the retention of staff is very key because you're able to grow as a company, and you're able to, if you're making profits, make profits. If you're providing a service or NGO work, you're able to do work better.
Do the work well.
Exactly.
I see.
Remember, insurance is to take the load off, eh?
yeah, it's for peace, really.
It's peace of mind.
Yeah.
Though no peace comes elsewhere, but it's really peace of mind.
My next question, yes. As Christians,
Yes.
like you're saying, yes, peace comes from elsewhere. And like
Yes.
I'm saying, insurance, the bottom line of insurance is that you're paying for the peace of mind.
Yes.
You know, the secondary benefit is that they'll actually pay for whatever cost. But what you benefit from having paid your premiums all year round is that comfort and that peace,
Yes.
that you'll be fine. So then there's a faith versus insurance debate.
Yes.
You know, and I know you are a Christian, I'm
Yeah.
a Christian, so I see where this debate arises.
Yes.
That, you know, we have a higher being, we have God who we believe takes care of us.
And he
you
does.
know. So you'll find what I would call perhaps some fundamentalists who say, you know what, why should I pay medical insurance premiums? I am a Christian, I pray to God, and He has promised that He shall take care of me and that He is the healer and He shall heal me.
Yes.
So why do I need to go and second guess Him, you know, and pay this money? Yet I could have put this money to better use. So there's
True.
that debate.
There's that debate. It can confuse, but more recently in reading, I've realized that what God wants us to do is very simple. It's actually just one thing: to obey. It's just obedience. That's all. Just do what I am telling you to do. I'm now speaking like God. Do what I have said, obey me, and I'll take care of you. But our nature is that we are sinful, so we are very disobedient. We only run to God when things are bad. But if we're obedient 90%, then God will take care of us 90%.
90%.
If we're obedient 100%, He'll take care. But though sometimes He might do if we do also at 10. There's a verse I like in the Bible, Malachi 3:10, where it says, "Take your tithe and offerings to the temple, to the storehouse, and I'll take care of you. I'll protect you, and do all that, everything else." But when God is doing that, when you're taking your tithe and you're being a cheerful giver, you cannot be doing that and maybe you're conning your employer, you're stealing
Or
from
you're
your employer,
making this money
or
dubiously.
you're beating your wife, or you're mistreating your children, and then because you think you're paying your tithe, that now
That
God
all
can take
is-
it,
shall
all is
be
well.
well.
There are many things that are involved, but yes, God does take care. He will take care. But you see, even when God takes you through trials, sometimes sickness sometimes can be a trial, or an illness can be a trial, or an accident can be a trial. He's testing you to see how
Strong your faith
strong your
is.
faith is. Yes.
So what's your take on that debate that you know, first point is that one would say, since I'm a Christian and I'm living my life well, I need not pay insurance. In any case, I mean, they would argue insurance is for those who are not living their lives right. You know, that's one side.
Yes.
And then the other side is that, okay, when you, as a Christian, you take your tithe and you say, you know, that it has been written that when I tithe, He shall take care of me. So in my mind, I pay my tithe knowing that my insurance is therein. My premium to God is therein in my
Yes.
tithe. Yeah, what's your take on this kind of arguments?
I think a lot of times we cannot manipulate God. Just because we pay tithe or take our offerings, we can manipulate Him so now He does as we want Him to do, or to do the things that we want to do. God doesn't operate like that. There are many things, and as you read the Bible and you gain knowledge, you will see that as you come closer to God and you obey Him more, maybe at a point we'll reach, actually maybe you will not really need that insurance. Yes. But that is a very tricky thing. I'll leave it to theologians to discuss that. At the point where I am right now, probably think maybe because I've not been very good with my lifestyle, eating too much chips and bhajia and soda, I know that what will happen
That those are the contributors to
Yes.
some of these things. Yeah.
later on. It will not happen now, maybe another 20 years. And actually, when you grow a little bit older is when you really need the insurance to take care of things. Because you can be walking like this, walking around, and then, you know, you fall sick, and then they check, and it's okay. Then when they check, they say, you have high blood pressure. But how? I never felt any symptoms.
It
At that
was
time, you're
coming.
maybe 70. You have no source of, maybe you just have your pension and stuff like that. At that particular time, probably you need some medical insurance. So just take the load off. Yeah, insurance is to really just take the load off from you.
From one.
Yes.
Then there's instances also argue that, I mean, the instances that insurance just doesn't pay.
pay.
They just refuse to pay a bill. Like, you know, you hear cases like that somebody has fallen ill and they've been up with their...
You have to read the fine print, and you have to tell the truth. I think truth is very important. If you know you have a pre-existing condition, or you have a pre-existing condition in your family, maybe, you know, they'll always ask you those questions. They usually ask those questions when you take life insurance. Has anybody in your family died? And when they died, what did they die? What killed them? Because if it's heart, it could be genetic. If it's breast cancer, it could be genetic, stuff like that. But you need to tell the truth. So if you don't tell the truth, they will not pay for it. But you must understand, if you know, just tell them the truth. If you have to pay an extra premium, then just pay. But just say the truth. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Which brings us to what we're calling these pre-existing conditions. I don't know what your take is, I guess, also just as a consumer of a product like this. Issues of, say, people with HIV and AIDS, that some insurance covers. In fact, there's some, I think there's one insurance company that markets itself as being the only company that covers people like this. Again, what's your take on that? Because that is what we would call pre-existing.
That's fine. That's fine. Remember, insurance is taking care of things, but at a small rate. The risk is small for me as the insurance company. So if I have 100 people working for a particular company and they've paid premiums, probably out of that 100 people, maybe 8, let's say 10 people have HIV and AIDS. HIV and AIDS now is a disease that can be managed. So you're not going to have it and die in 3 months. You can be around for another 30 years. So it's okay for me. Also, your lifestyle, if you're taking your medicines and you're eating well, then the chances of you falling ill are not very high. So it's okay. I think it's good that it is there. If you take a cover and they say you have a pre-existing condition, because of that will add an extra premium, then just pay the extra premium.
It's fine.
It's fine.
So actually the pre-existing conditions are fine, only that they attract higher premiums.
They might attract because your risk is higher. Yes, the risk is higher.
Okay, so having gone through all that, that those are the benefits.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any downside to having a cover other than paying the premiums.
No, the only downside I know of is of abuse of outpatient. Yes, where you know your company pays, or your company pays for your children and your dependents to go see a doctor, and some people just like to spend time getting that attention from a doctor and getting medicine. That abuse. So I know a lot of companies, what they have said is, if you're sick, you will co-pay. If every time you see a doctor, you pay a 200 bob or 100 bob. So to discourage them, to discourage people, just when you have nothing to do, let's go and see the doctor.
Strolling into the clinic to do for things that are not that serious.
Yes.
So having gone through all that, what are the alternatives that we have? Considering, you know, perhaps take us through some of the issues that come with that cause the very high costs of healthcare. You can take us through that, and then, so if we're not able to get that, what then?
I think with modernization has come a lot of things that we're doing now that we're not doing 30, 40 years ago. We're not exercising as much. We're not eating well. We're sitting too much, watching TV or on our laptops or on our iPads. We're not eating right. We're frying too many foods. We want to move from point A to B. If in Mombasa, it's a tuk-tuk. If it's here, it's a matatu. So we're not exercising as much. But I think if we can change our lifestyle, a lot of the diseases that are being treated right now are preventable diseases. Recently, they said that, in fact, more people are dying out from cancer as opposed to HIV. And, you know, diabetes and those things are caused by many things by lifestyle. You want a sugar up, you take a soda. You don't need to. You know, we need to be to a point where we're eating wimbi, the sorghum, the millet, ugali. I know it doesn't taste very, but it's tasty. It's actually very tasty. I like it. Eating the mbogas, which we don't like, the osuga, the Kenyan mbogas, the bitter leaves. It's very important. And the way God has made everything, the darker the fruit or the darker the vegetable, the more nutritious it is. So things like beetroot, things like tree tomato, things like sweet potato, those are things we should be eating because they have more nutritional value for our lifestyle. And then we prevent, and we can live long, like we intend to do.
And we can run these companies out of business.
And we can be wealthy and healthy.
Yes, wealthy
Yes.
and healthy.
Yes.
I think there's a lot more, but I think we can close it there for today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we hope we can have you again
Anytime.
to help us with more issues of financial planning. I think
Anytime.
finances are a big part of our lives.
But even as we look at finances, you must be healthy. We must be healthy. You cannot enjoy your finances if you're not healthy.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You have been watching The Experts Say, and you have been listening to Ogwala Yaya just talk about medical insurance and the finances and the benefits that come with this kind of arrangement. I have been your host, Marianne Waisha. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time.